Hello and welcome back to Read, Rant, and Review. Sorry that I haven't had very many videos out lately. I'm trying to move to a different house. As you can see by the background, I have thus far failed. But eventually I hope to move to a different house. Anyway, today on Read, Rant, and Review we are going to continue our look at books for boys with a very male-oriented book, as I would call it. It is called The Knife of Never Letting Go, and yes, that is a stupid title. It really doesn't make any sense. There's a knife in the book. So I read this book a little while ago, and because of that it has since gone back to the library, so I will read you the synopsis from the back thanks to my handy-dandy laptop. Prentisstown isn't like other towns. Everyone can hear everyone else's thoughts in an overwhelming, never-ending stream of noise. Just a month away from the birthday that will make him a man, Todd and his dog Manchi, whose thoughts Todd can also hear, whether he wants to or not, stumble upon an area of complete silence. They find that in a town where privacy is impossible, something terrible has been hidden, a secret so awful that Todd and Manchi must run for their lives. But how do you escape when your pursuers can hear your every thought? So interesting premise, right? I am going to put a spoiler warning on this because there will be at least minor spoilers, possibly mid-level spoilers. The back of the book really does not give much away, and I think it could have gotten away with telling you more. So there will be spoilers though, whether that bothers you or not. So, as the back of the book informs you, this is a book about a boy coming of age, which is of course a very popular type of story. However, he's not just coming into adulthood, he is coming into manhood. And throughout the course of this book, one of the themes is what makes you a man. Not what makes you an adult, what makes you a man. A penis-having, testosterone-filled man. It doesn't really do anything for me, but then again, I have ovaries, so maybe I just don't understand all this. Maybe it will resonate better with somebody who is male. Something else that kind of makes the male-centricness of this book even more evident is he does encounter a female, and here we're going to get right to the spoilers. The village where he lives has no women. They are all men, and he is the last boy in Prentisstown, and so once he reaches adulthood, they'll all be men in their village. And the quiet that he finds in the forest is a woman, as a young woman, his age of course, because you would find someone his own age in the forest. And she is the source of quiet because apparently women do not have the noise. Their thoughts cannot be read. They can still hear men's noise, but they don't have it themselves. For whatever stupid contrived reason the plot says so. And it makes it even worse, in my opinion, because then it makes women this special other thing that should be treated with extreme caution and feared. And I'm really kind of not okay with that message. Like, it seems like it might be trying to elevate women. Like, look at them. They are special. Their thoughts cannot be read, unlike those lowly men who are forced to hear each other's thoughts. But it's like, no, it makes them weird, and it makes them on a pedestal and potentially frightening because you can't hear their thoughts. And I don't really like that. I don't like that. I'm just gonna say it. This book had a really slow start, and I almost gave up on it. Had it not been for the fact that it is fairly well liked on like Goodreads, I would not have kept going, but I was like, there must be some reason that so many people love this book, and so I kept going because I was like, well, at least I can review it, because it fits in with my theme of books about and for boys. But it had a slow start, and I was really not engaged. The main character is kind of a shitter, at least at first. The other thing, of course, is the writing style of the book. Not only are you in the head of Todd, but it's almost like he is writing the book because of like the word choices that they use and the misspellings that they do on purpose, but he can't read or write, so I'm a little confused by that choice. Like, I understand writing for someone's accent. Brian Jake's one of my favorite authors, writes all of the accents, and I love that. But it's not just accents, it's like misspellings that the character would make. And I don't get it. The girl character does eventually get to be kind of cool, but I really wish that she had more of her own agency. She really feels like she's just being dragged along in this whirlwind that is caused by our male character. I wish that she was less of a sidekick and more of a partner. The boy is the special for extremely tenuous reasoning that we don't find out until the end, and I really hope that in the next book, because you know it's part of a series, because everything is, I really hope that in the next book we get a better explanation of why he's the special, because I'm hoping that we find out that the reason they gave in this book is not the real reason, because the reason they gave in this book is shit, and I don't buy it for a second. So this book is set on an alien planet where they have colonized, the humans have colonized, and because of this planet they can hear the noise and all that stuff. And there were aliens on this planet called the Spackle. I don't know why they were called the Spackle, but whatever. But what I didn't understand is, like, because on this planet they brought with them cows and horses and sheep and dogs and all that sort of thing, and also on this planet are animals extremely similar to Earth animals, and then the characters call them the names of the Earth animals. So like there's a squirrel, and he calls it a squirrel, and it's extremely squirrel-like. And there's a crocodile or alligator, and he calls it that, and extremely crocodile or alligator-like. And I'm like, why are we just not on Earth? Why is this not an Earth dystopia story? The only reason that you can know that it's another planet half the time is because he brings up the fact that there are 2 moons occasionally. But otherwise, it's like, this could be Earth. This could be dystopian Earth where aliens have landed instead of you came to their planet. And the whole noise thing was originally thought to have been an alien attack. And it could have been. Like, in the book that never happened, this is Earth, and the aliens came here and used an alien attack on the humans, or used something on the humans to try and help the humans understand the aliens, because the aliens didn't speak verbally, they only speak mentally, and that would have been so much cooler than just a planet where everybody hears thoughts, well, all of the men do, for reasons unknown. This book is kind of predictable, and I guessed the twist ending, like, immediately, and as a result, I was really frustrated with the main character through the whole book, because it was right there in front of his nose, and he was just too stupid to figure it out, and I was just, like, so frustrated, smashing my head against the book, going, why are you so stupid? Damn it. I mean, I understand that in many books, the reader will figure out what's going on sooner than the character, but I figured it out right away, and it took this shit the entire book to figure it out. One thing that confuses me is, it's never really clear. In the book, the kid can talk to his dog, and it seems to indicate by the way they describe it that the dog is verbally speaking to Todd. But why? In the description of the book, it sounds as though Todd is hearing his thoughts, and that's what I thought for a long time too. But it kept saying the book kept describing it as though the dog was speaking words, and all of the animals were speaking verbal words, and I was so confused. That needs to be clearer. Can we hear the animals actually verbally speak, or are we only hearing their noise? Back onto that guessing the twist ending thing, we are in the main character, not only like in the main character's head, but also apparently in his writing, for the entire book, except for in a few key moments when we aren't supposed to get the clue that he sees, and that annoyed the shit out of me. It's like all of a sudden he'd be like, he'd see something in someone else's noise, and he would be like, oh, that's a thing that gives me a hint about something later. But you, the reader, would not be shown what it was so that you could also get the hint. Drove me crazy. Now, I'm not going to spoil this for you, but there is a dog in this book. And if you don't think you can handle a dog being in this book, if you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch any movie ever that has a dog in it. I really want to call this Crazy Random Happenings, the book, because so much shit just keeps happening to this guy, and I stopped buying it. I'm just like, you are either the unluckiest motherfucker on the planet, or you have like a magnet that draws villains to you, because the bad guys would just appear with no explanation of how they got there, or, you know, like they will appear ahead of him somehow, and it's just like, oh yeah, they got there faster and knew he was coming and laid an ambush, and I don't. And there's a one bad guy who is like his main bad guy for this particular book, who is freaking made of titanium or something, because this dude will not die. Like, he loses lots of blood, and he just like almost drowns, and he's like the Rasputin is chasing our main character. And it's kind of gets to the point of hilarious at the end, where it's like, so, medical shock is not a thing that you have heard of, huh? No? Okay. And as a result of this, the tension just keeps building and building to unreasonable, unbelievable levels at the end. To the point where I was just rolling my eyes, because the author, because of the way that he kept, you know, having this bad guy come back and keep having random bad shit happen to our main characters, had really built so high of tension that you just, you can't believe it anymore. You're just like, this is ridiculous and hilarious. The aliens seemed interesting. I hope we get more of them in the next book. They weren't really in this one. And that's a little bit of a problem I have with the book. The book is really about the boy and the girl going on a road trip of horrendous misadventures and horrifying death and injury. And they never really pick up any other characters for you to get to know and identify with. So if you don't like the two leads and the dog, you're screwed, because this is like the opposite of an ensemble cast. They actively are like, nope, get those other characters that might be interesting out of here. They only appear every now and then to randomly help the main character if he's in really big trouble. So because the main character is the special, and he runs away with this girl who's also special because she can't hear their thoughts, although all women can't, the people from his town, from Prentice Town, decide that for reasons that will be later revealed, or shitty tenuous reasons, one or the other, they're gonna go after him with an army. But at the beginning of the book, their village seems very small, and everybody seems to know everybody else. So where did they get an army that is strong enough to terrorize other nearby villages? And later, they do stuff that seems even more impossible for a bunch of slack-jawed yokels. So I hope that's better explained, because I was like, where did this army come from? There are like 8 people in your village. Most of them are old and crabby. So I know I'm shitting all over this book, but I guess I can find a few things that I did kind of like. The ramping up of the tension until it got to ridiculous levels was kind of fun. The bad guy was unintentionally hilarious. The character growth for our main 2 characters was okay. I mean, at least they had some. By the end, I didn't hate Todd quite as much as I hated him from the beginning, though that's not really saying much. And the female character tries valiantly to be a real character and occasionally succeeds. And Todd was raised by 2 gay men, so that's cool. Yeah, there's also father figures in this book, as well as a dog. So those were my thoughts on The Knife of Never Letting Go. Should you read it? Probably not. Probably not. I mean, you might enjoy it, especially if you have a penis. You might enjoy it more. I don't know. I've never had a penis, so I don't know how that is. But if you do enjoy it, feel free to leave a comment and tell me why, or don't. Either way, see you next time, when I think we're going to do a book that is more girl-oriented again. Not on purpose, it's just a book that I happen to find and enjoy. Anyway, see you later.